Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Spigot series. In this episode I'm going to show you how to use my SimpAPI command manager. Okie dokie, so hopefully you saw last episode where I introduced the SimpAPI. The SimpAPI is basically just a Minecraft Spigot API for making plugins really easily, so it combines all of my other things I've shown you before, like menu manager, color translator, and command manager, and even I'm going to be adding more stuff like skull creator. I've already added to create player heads of all types of objects, and I'll show you how to use that in the future. But this episode I'm going to show you how to use command manager, which is it's a little different from the last command manager, the previous video in this series. So I wanted to show you how to use this one, and it's actually improved a lot, so you don't have to do as much work. So it's much more easier to set up. And the most important thing is that you don't even have to code it yourself anymore. Since it's part of this API here, you can just import it using Maven or Gradle, and then you can use it in your project without having to steal the code or copy and paste or anything like that. You can just do this. So first things first, we have a new project here. So I'm gonna close this, and what we want to do is go to our pom.xml, and this is how we're gonna bring in the SimpAPI. We're gonna be using Maven obviously, but you can use Gradle if you know how to do that. So go to here, select repository, then go up here to repositories and put that as one of the options. Then go back and select the dependency. And the latest version is 4.0, so every time I do make an update, I'll be updating it there. So that's where you can find the latest version number here, okay? So now, one more thing we're going to import before we do that is Vault. So in this example plugin that I'll be showing you, we're just going to make a very simple banking plugin. And as you probably know, Vault is a API for, well, it has many different things, but one of the big components is economies. So we're going to use this to deposit to the player's account, or withdraw from their account, and all that stuff. So this will make it much easier. So we need to import it. So we'll just go here to dependency, and we will put that here. And the repository is the same as SimpAPI, so we can just leave it. We don't want to have two of the same. Anyway, so once you add all of your Maven dependencies, just go up here, click this button here, and this will bring in all of the dependencies into your project. Great. So now we have SimpAPI and Vault. So first things first, let's go ahead and set up Vault in our main plugin here, as the example says. So if you've not watched my Vault video, make sure to go check that out. I show you how to use Vault inside of your plugin. So let's go ahead and just set this up real quick. So put that, import economy and logger. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now let's go to our main here. Put this, or not our main, our on enable. You know what I mean? Let's see. We also want a get economy method, so we can access the economy outside of our main class. And then we want to set up a setup economy method. There we go. So that's all we need. So let's import all that. So there we go. So now let's go ahead and show you how to make a command. So the whole point of command manager is to have what's called a core command with subcommands under it. So you know how to create a simple command, right? Just a regular old Minecraft Spigot command. It's so simple, right? But let's say that you want like a core command like /bank, which would be the core command, and then under that you have subcommands. So like /bank help, /bank deposit, /bank withdraw. As you can see, these are also commands in their own way, except that you're passing them as arguments. So they're technically not commands, but with the command manager system, they're recognized as commands. So you don't have to worry about, parsing the arguments and checking to see if they provided enough arguments and all that information. So the core command would be /bank in this case, and then the subcommand would be /help, /deposit, or not /deposit, just help, deposit, and withdraw. So we can create subcommands and then register those under a core command, which is what I'll be showing you how to do. And yeah, okay. So now let's go ahead and create a new commands package here. So commands is what I'll call that. And we're going to create our first subcommand. So new Java class deposit command. So you're going to use the subcommand here to deposit money to the player's account. So to create a subcommand, it's called command, but technically you should call this subcommand maybe. However you want to design it. But the point is that if to make a subcommand, all you need to do is do extends subcommand from SimpAPI. And then after that, since subcommand is an abstract class, you need to implement its abstract method. So you can hover over this and click implement methods and bring all those in. And now you just got to provide the definitions for each of these. So the name of the method, so return, we'll call it deposit. So this will be the subcommand itself. So in this case, if the name is deposit, that means that the subcommand will be /bank deposit. That's how you'll type that command, okay? And so for the description, we'll say deposit some money to your account. Okay, and the syntax is an example of how to use this command. So we'll call it SimpleBank, SimpleBank deposit amount. There we go. And then perform. This is the most important method here. This is how you tell it what to do when the command is run. So the subcommand is run, excuse me. So whenever they run the subcommand, first we want to check to see if they provided a argument here. So that'll be, technically this will be the second argument, so 1, 2. So deposit, even though it's called a subcommand in the command manager, it still technically is an argument. So it's passed into here. And the second one would be this. So we want to do if args.length is greater than 1, that means that they provided a amount to deposit. Otherwise, we want to tell them that they need to provide an amount to deposit. So we'll do that by doing player.sendMessage, and we'll use my color translator. This is just a simple little thing, part of SimpAPI, that allows you to translate color codes just like you would do with chat color. But in this case, you can also use hexadecimal color codes. So if you're interested in that, then check out my other video on how to use hexadecimal color codes. So anyway, we'll do and for, and we'll say, which is red, we'll say you must deposit a value greater than 0. And then let's just go ahead and give them an example. So player.sendMessage, color translator.translate color codes, and we'll say and a example and e/SimpleBanking deposit amounts, or we'll say 123.4. So you can do decimals if you want to. Okay, so there we go. That's how you do that. And so if they do provide an argument, we want to grab that argument. So we're going to start as a double, so we can have decimals. So double amount is equal to double.parse double. So you pass it a string, and then if that string can be converted into a double, it will do that and return a double. Otherwise, it'll return a number format exception. Okay, so parse double, and we'll do args1. So that's the second argument. Like I said, this would be the second argument for the amount, right here. So args1 will give us the second amount, and we know that they passed it because the args.length is greater than 1. So after we get the amount, we want to try depositing it. We want to check to see actually if it's greater than 0. So if the amount is less than or equal to 0, then we want to tell them this message here. Players.sendMessage, you must deposit a value greater than 0. Otherwise, if it is greater than 0, then we want to say, well, we want to deposit it. So to that we need to access the vault economy. So SimpleBanking.getEconomy.deposit player, pass in the player as the first parameter, so player, and then pass in the amount, so amount. And then to know if it works, this returns I know this is hard to see because it's white, but it says economy response. So this gives us an economy response object. So economy response is equal to SimpleBanking.getEconomy.deposit player. There we go. So now we can check to see if response type says response type as the return type, so is equal to response type, and we have all these different response types here. If it's a failure, then something went wrong and they couldn't deposit the amount, so we'll just tell them that. Otherwise, it was successfully deposited, so we'll say player.sendMessage color translator translate color codes. We'll say and b amount has been deposited to your account, and then we'll tell them the new balance because that is returned actually by the response. So we can grab that information. Your new balance is, and then we could tell them. So we'll say and a and l $, response dot balance. So that's the new balance. Okay. So anyway, otherwise, if there's a failure, then we'll say player.sendMessage color translator translate color codes, and for something went wrong with the deposit and it could not be completed. Try again later. Okay, so just to recap here, first you're going to type the command. It's going to check to see if a second argument was provided so that we can grab the amount that they want to deposit. And if it was provided, then we will get that into a double variable. And then we want to check to see if that variable is less than or equal to 0, because if it's less than or equal to 0, we want to tell them you must deposit a value greater than 0. If they do deposit a value greater than 0, then we will deposit that into their account, get the response, and depending on if it worked or not, we'll tell them it didn't work, or we'll tell them the new balance that they gained from that, or that they have now from the amount that they deposited. You know what I mean? Okay, so pretty simple. And then so that's what the perform method does of the subcommand type here. But this down here, the get subcommand arguments, is for auto completion. So I do show that in the original command manager in case you're curious on that. But yeah, I'll leave a sample code for this in the GitHub on the written tutorial. Sorry, I don't know how to speak English. Anyway, so how do we get the deposit subcommand under a core command and register it for us? So if we go back to SimpleBanking, let's go back to our on enable, and this is how you register a new core command and its subcommands that fall under it. So core command manager, which is part of SimpAPI, dot, and then you have two methods here: create core command and create core command. So create core command, the first thing it wants is the plugin. So we're in the plugin class, so we'll just type this, and then we want the command name. So we can call it whatever we want, but if you remember inside of here, we said it was going to be called SimpleBank, so we'll just call it SimpleBank. Okay, and then it's asking for a command description, so a SimpleBanking plugin to deposit and withdraw money. And now it wants a command usage, so /SimpleBank, very simple. And then now it wants a command list. But before I do that, I would just want to explain, why is it asking for these details here? The plugin instance, the command name, the command description, the command usage. Why is it asking for that? Well, the cool thing about the new command manager is that it automatically registers your commands for you. You don't even need to type a single thing within your plugin.yml. It's going to automatically register your core command, and then you don't have to touch it at all. That's all you got to do, is simply define your subcommands and then tell it, right here, how to create the core command, and that's all it's going to do it's going to do the rest for you. It's very, very cool and very advanced. And yeah, so that's why I believe SimpAPI is really awesome. So, okay, so that's that. And so now we have the command list, which is actually a functional interface. So if we do new command list, you can see that it's not like a concrete class. So if you do Control Q, it's a functional interface. It says a functional interface used to allow the developer to specify how the listing of the subcommands on a core command works. So let me give you an example. Actually, we're not going to use this yet. We're going to put null, because you can do that for that one. If you don't want to specify your own command list, you can put null and it'll just use the default command list. So we're going to see how the default command list looks like, and then I'll give you an example of how to define your own custom command list, okay? So yeah, and then after that, you can choose whether you want to provide any aliases for this core command here. We're not going to do that. We're going to now, so that means that we're going to go down here to this overloaded method, and it's asking for the last parameter, which is a variable arguments parameter of all the subcommands that you want to put under this core command. So currently we have just one subcommand, so we're going to do deposit command dot class, because it's asking for a class reference, as you can see here. So deposit command dot class, that'll return that class reference, and that will do everything for you. So it'll register the core command and your plugin, and then it'll also create the subcommands under that core command for you and process them. So one more thing is we need to handle the exceptions. So we'll just do that and do this, and there we go. That's all you have to do. Really, really simple. So hopefully you like that a lot. That's way better than the original command manager. And yeah, so now let's go ahead and run this and compile this and throw it on our server and see if it works. Okie dokie, so we're joining our test server. And so now we can do /SimpleBank. And it says, as you can see here, it lists all of our commands for us. So this is what I meant by the command list functional interface a second ago. So we provided null as the command list here. If we go here, as you can see, we provided null. And by the way, if you do Control Q, it does give you the documentation for this. It's hard to see on my screen just because of the terrible theme that I have, but it explains each of the parameters for you in case you forget. So yeah, hopefully that'll help you out. Anyway, so the command list one, you can provide null, and so it'll use the default command list implementation, which is this. So it'll have a top border, a bottom border, and then it'll list each of your subcommands one by one. And so the syntax and the description, so it'll just do that for you. And of course, in a realistic scenario, you probably want to customize your own because it doesn't have any color, looks like poo-poo. So that's something that I will make look better. I'll make the default one look better in the future, but you usually want to define your own, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So first, let's test how to use this, or test to see if it works. So we'll do SimpleBank deposit, and we'll not put any value. There we go. So it says you must deposit a value greater than 0. Example, SimpleBanking deposit, or it should be SimpleBank deposit 123.4. Great. So SimpleBank deposit, we'll say 50, or 50. And it says 50 has been deposited into your account. The new balance is 146.0. So the reason it says 146, by the way, is just because I tested this plugin before. I coded it out before I made this video, as I do. But yeah, it works. Trust me. I didn't do the math wrong or anything like that. So just trust me on that. So you can do $1 and then it'll say 147. So there we go. That's proof that it still works. It'll just add it to the balance of your account. So yep, that's why Vault is so awesome. It does that for us. But as you can see as well, the SimpleBank core command has auto-complete suggestions for the subcommands, which is really cool. So SimpleBank deposit, and then you could specify the arguments. So pretty cool, right? And if you want to put more autocomplete on the arguments, then you can just edit this one here. So if you want to have it, have some arguments pop up, then you could put it here, and this will allow you to customize that. But anyway, what else do we want to do? Let's see how we can customize our command list here. So because this is a functional interface, we can just directly do new command list, press tab, and that will create a new little thing here, so we can define the implementation of our functional interface, similar to how we would do with a stream. So we could use a lambda for this, by the way, because you can use lambdas with functional interfaces. So if you hover over this and click replace with lambda, it changes it to that. But I don't really like that. This is more clear in my opinion, actually. So I'm going to leave it like this, but you can do it however you want to. So first things first, let's set up the border. So we'll change this to P first of all. So p.sendMessage color translator dot translate color codes and E, and we'll just have the top border there. There we go. And we'll put the bottom border under that. Okay, and so in between that, we're just going to do what the example did. It just listed each of the subcommands one by one. So the parameter that you can see here is a player and also a list of subcommands. So we can just stream or loop through each of those subcommands one by one. So subcommand list for each, and then for each subcommand, we can run a piece of code. So we can do p.sendMessage chat color or color translator dot translate codes, and we can do and a plus subcommand dot get syntax. There's also, so you can do all these methods here. You can do get syntax, get description, get name, get subcommand arguments, and perform. Obviously the ones that you want are here, these three here. So we're going to do dot get syntax to get the syntax of the command as an example, and then separate that with a dash, and then we'll make it white for the description. So we will do subcommand dot get description. So where is this coming from? Of course, this will come directly from your deposit command class. So this is why you define all of these methods here and tell it what to return, because that's when it's used to grab information here. So this is where that information goes. So yeah, so that should list all of them. Now we have defined our own custom command list thingy. So when we run our core command without any arguments, it will show this. Okie dokie, so let's test this out. So I'm going to rerun this and hop in the server. I'll be right back. Okay, so now we'll do /SimpleBank. And as you can see, it looks way better. May need to change this a lot, but just generally speaking, it looks way better customized. You can add color and do whatever you want to it. So that's what you'll probably be doing in your plugin. So SimpleBank deposit amount, deposit some money into your account. So that's how you can define a custom command list implementation. So there you go. But we're not done with this plugin though. We need to also add in a withdrawal command and also a report command to report our balance to us. So let's get that. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to do new Java class withdraw command. Okay, and that's going to extend subcommand from SimpAPI, and then we'll just implement all these methods yet again. Boom. So return withdraw description, take some money from your account. Syntax, simple bank, withdraw amount. Okay, so for perform, it's very similar to deposit. So we're just going to copy the code from deposit and just edit it to make it fit. Fuck, I didn't mean to do that. All right, so put that there. And first things first, let's just change this to you must withdraw a value greater than 0. Change this to withdraw. Okie dokie, so that should fit what we're looking for now. One more thing is that we need to change this from deposit player to withdraw player. And that should be all we need. Great. So now let's go ahead and go back, and I'm going to show you how to register this. So go back to SimpleBanking, go back to the core command registration, and then because this last parameter here of subcommands is a var args parameter, hopefully you know what that is. It's variable arguments, so you can provide as many as you want. So we can just add on another one. So we'll add withdraw command dot class, and that will register that for us. Great. So one more command we're going to make is the report command. So this will just report a balance to us. So report command. There we go. So return report your account balance to you. Simple. Okay, so this one, we just want to grab the balance. So we will do double balance is equal to SimpleBanking dot get economy dot get balance player. So we'll grab the balance of the player, and then I will just message that to the player. So player dot send message, and your account balance is, and B and L $sign balance. Great. So that'll just print them, send it to them. Awesome. So now let's not forget to register this last command. So we'll just add it on there. So report command dot class. There we go. So that's how you register your commands. You can add as many as you want, of course. So now let's run this and hop in the server, see if it works. Okay. So /SimpleBank. There we go. So now we have all 3 commands. So as many commands as you add will be listed here. So /SimpleBank deposit amount, /SimpleBank withdraw amount, /SimpleBank report. So let's do the report one first. So /SimpleBank report. And it says, oops, we forgot to color translate it. So it says your account balance is, and then it says 112269. Was that correct? That doesn't even sound right. I guess it is right. That's the essentials balance amount, but that wasn't where it was ported a second ago. Let me try this. SimpleBank withdraw 100. Okay, yeah, I guess it works. So it says 100 has been withdrawn from your account. We should change this to from your account. Your new balance is 112169. So okay, looks good. So now we'll try deposit. And now it has deposited that amount. Great. I don't even remember making the balance that high. I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell. So SimpleBank report. Cool. So now let's just make this color real quick to make it complete. So how do we do that? Color translator dot translate color codes. Boom. Awesome. Okay, good. So that's how you register all the commands. That's how you create a very simple banking plugin. But one more thing I want to show you is how to use aliases. So as you can see here, our core command has a very long name. Some people might want a couple of other names or a more simple name. So this does offer a option for aliases. So if you do Control P to see the parameters of this method here, you can see that one of them is aliases that we did not fill in the first time. So that comes right before the subcommands thing. So we'll go down here, and it wants a list of aliases. So these are just strings that represent the aliases of the subcommand. Okay. So this will be registered in the plugin.yml for you when the plugin is run. So we will do let's say that we want our alias to be SB for SimpleBank. Oh wait, first it wants a list, right? So we can do arrays.asList. There we go, and we can have a list of strings just providing strings. So there we go, that's how you do that. You can have as many aliases as you want. Just make sure to provide them in this arrays.asList method here. Or define it outside and then just pass it in, of course. That's another way to do it. But there you go. So now we can run this command the same way, but also using these aliases here. So let's see how we can do that. All right, so we'll do /SimpleBank. That still works. Now we can do /SB. That also works. It does the same thing. And we can also do /bank. There we go. So that's how you add aliases to your core command in Command Manager. Alright, so that's how you use Command Manager, part of the SimpAPI that I've just released. If you like this, then please feel free to star the GitHub page on GitHub. I'll leave a link for SimpAPI in the description below so you can check it out. But hopefully you enjoyed this. I hope it'll make your plugin development process much easier. Please let me know if it helps you out. I would love to hear some positive feedback or any bugs or anything like that. Or if you have any suggestions for something to add, then let me know as well. You can message me on Discord or anything like that. By the way, speaking of Discord, I have a Discord link to our Discord community. If you want to ask for help or anything like that, you can get help on this. You can get help on your Spigot plugins. You can get help on any programming stuff. Just ask for help and somebody might help you. And also leave a link to the plugin for this episode in the description below so you can see the code for this plugin. You can save it and come back to it at any point in case you want to see how to use Command Manager from SimpAPI in more detail. Okay, so make sure to check that out and bookmark it. And finally, if you want to support this channel, then click the join button below this video, and you can join this channel as a member for as low as 99 cents a month, and you can cancel anytime. You get some cool perks like early access to all of my new videos, a cool rank on my Discord server so you can show everyone how swaggy you are, and also you can just see yourself on the screen like you see right now. So if that sounds cool to you, feel free to join. If you can't, then that's fine too. I appreciate you watching this video anyway. And that's it. So if you like this video, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and peace.